Ahoy again. Firstly, I will just say that I'm wearing the same clothes as before. This is because I've just done this video straight after the last one. So, in case you think I've been sitting here for the past 24 hours waiting to do another video, no, that's not the case. Welcome once again. This is the pickups on the high street for last weekend, which was the 25th of August. And because it's bank holiday here in the UK, in typical bank holiday fashion, it's incredibly cloudy and overcast over there. It's a day off for most of us, which is great because it's the last one we get before Christmas officially. And so the shops, not all the shops are open, but most of them are. Little charity shops aren't, so I've had to do a quick trip out to one of the more recognised second-hand retailers that you come across. I keep mentioning them every now and again, but you know, they don't give me anything, so why should I mention them by name? You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll carry on with that anyway. Yes, so a bit of a bonus, because we've had a few things going on. If you mentioned the last video, quite sort of convoluted beginning, talk about things that have been going on here. I was out without transport this last weekend, which is the first time ever, so I actually used public transport. I know it sounds like I'm talking down on myself, but no, it's great. I used a bus for the first time in 4 years, which was, after much scouring of timetables and websites, I found out exactly what I should be doing. It was a bit of a bonus to go and do that, and it was very nice to get around. I managed to get around some of my usual places without any real difficulty. So it was nice to be able to go out and do that. And again, with the bonus today, I had to go and pick a few things up. My partner had come back from being away for a week, and she said we needed a few bits and pieces, so turned it into a quick trip somewhere else. So, same cup as the last video, just between have to some coffee in there. Let's show you what we picked up on Saturday the 25th. Bits and pieces, something for everybody, the usual. I'll do the Xbox stuff first. RPM tuning, that's a real quality cover, isn't it? That is complete. Got that on the PlayStation 1. That was a 50p. Second Sight, which is on the Xbox as well. I thought I had that one, but actually only got it on the PlayStation 2. Complete. And then Turok Evolution on the Xbox. I also own this on the PlayStation 2. Not that I was actually picking these up just because of the fact I've gone on the PlayStation 2 down there. That's not the case. It just, I thought, well, that was 3 games, £2. Nice job. Now, a bit of GameCube stuff for you again. Don't get too excited, but it's always nice to see GameCube games in the world. These are picked up from charity shop. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow. Nice and complete, which is good to see. And also Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Lots of pre-owned stickers on that one, but as you can see, nice and complete. They were £1.25 each. That's a bit more than I like to pay, but you don't see GameCube games in the wild so much. Having checked the price and what I can buy them elsewhere, it's, I've saved a little bit, not a huge amount. We're not talking Harry Potter levels we were in the last video, and if you want to go back and look at that one, that's Philosopher's Stone for the Xbox, which they sell for, you can see sell for quite a lot of money, but they don't give anything for it. I've got quite a few games like that. Well, yeah. Speaking of Harry Potter, more Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire on the PlayStation 2. This takes the number of Harry Potter games now owned to 4, which means that's doubled in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Why? I don't know. I quite enjoy playing Half-Blood Prince on the Wii, I've got to be honest with you. But I just found it quite interesting. But I also remember enjoying playing Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I think that was the first film, wasn't it? I'm not a Harry Potter fan, surprisingly, you might say. But I think we were playing the one on the Game Boy Advance on the emulation. It was quite good fun. Really got quite into that. But anyway, and that's more Wii stuff, which is Sonic and the Black Knight, which now completes for me all the Sonic individual titles. The only one I'm missing now for anything relating to Sonic on the Wii is Mario and Sonic at the 2014 Winter Olympics, because if you saw the last video I picked up London Olympics. I wasn't, again, not particularly trying to collect all the Sonic titles to the Wii, but they seem to have fallen into my lap quite nicely. That was £1.99, again a bit more than I like to pay, but a lot cheaper than I pay elsewhere. And same with this one, which is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which I own on the PlayStation 3. It's a completely different game apparently. Again, nicely complete with a manual. and that was £1.99 as well. I've been after that for some time. That takes the number of Need for Speed titles on the Wii to 4. Now, I had a bit of a find, and again you're going to be sitting there going, you know, but this is Let's Tap on the Wii. Now, this is it's a very innovative game where the idea is you pop your, I've got one now, that's behind the box, the Wii remote there, and then what you do is you tap your fingers like that, and it's like a running game. You can just see there from the box. If I show you that again, you can see these characters here. It's like a running game which involves jumping over obstacles and trying to beat the computer controls. And if you look at the back there, if you look over here, there we go, you can just see what you're meant to be doing there, which is doing that and then tapping. And you can see there's a rhythm sections as well, other bits and pieces. And all this is a slipcase. Work out my angles. Slipcase, which gives you a box. And it all gets very Russian doll from here on in. And you'll see what I mean by that. Unboxing on the internet, who'd have thought that difficult on it? Because not only can one person play it, 2 people can play it. And then in this box here somewhere is the game. Now the game didn't have the case, it only had the slipcase with it. Not to worry, because I already own the game, it's over there. But actually, just to have this set complete, yes, you may think there's something slightly wrong with me by paying 50p for a load of cardboard, which is technically what it is. And we don't need this set to be able to play the game. A perfectly sound shoebox or a flat surface like a heavy book or something like that would work perfectly okay as I played the game. But just to have actually that bit to go with it, makes it a bit more special, I think. So, and it was 50p, so I can't really complain about it. So yeah, as I paid a bit more. So that was Saturday, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a box of cardboard for a tenner. I mean, there is a game in the box of cardboard, so technically it's 9 games for a tenner, which I don't think is too bad. It's about average at the moment. We got lucky a few weeks ago, but no, that's if you come back with that, you wouldn't be too unhappy, would you? Right, so we then went out today, did a bit of general shopping, which turned into, I'll have a quick pop in here, and just, I never go to this particular branch of a certain high street retailer very often now, because too often I've been in there and I've been let down by the fact that they don't have all the stuff on the shelf. And I think it happened about 4 to 6 weeks ago, and I said I'm never going in that one ever again. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, not the best one round here. I've gone now about 4 or 5 now I've been to, and some of the stuff are brilliant and some of the stuff is brilliant. And I think you find that there is a rather large one not far from here which does seem to outperform the other one. It's very difficult to say without, I don't want to mention branches or anything like that, but I always seem to think the smaller they are, the better they are. But there is one big one which is particularly brilliant. There's one big one which is particularly bad. This is a particularly bad one. And lo and behold, once again, there was a couple of games which they didn't have. Well, they're on the shelves. They may have been sitting there for years. I don't know. So we'll do the good stuff last. So we have Buster Block, which is quite definitive of puzzle games at the moment, and that was 50p. That's on the PlayStation 2. Deus Ex Human Revolution, which comes with the manual, that was on 360 for 50p. This is Defiance, which is based on a sci-fi channel TV programme which my other half used to watch. Oh, and someone's left their receipt in there again. It's always nice to see, isn't it? Yes, so if you bought this from a Tesco in Cradley Heath in July 2013, the good news is we found it. And there was also, this is nice, isn't it? A little 2 of these in there, a little postcard. which says, join the fight, throwing thousands of players in massive co-op battles as invaluable alien technology reigns to Earth. Brave dynamic events, wield wild vaulted weaponry and reap the rewards of the new frontier. Yeah, well, that's nice, isn't it, anyway? I vaguely remember seeing her watching this, but watching some weird stuff. Don't think it was particularly. I'll come back to that one in a minute. This is, well, you can call it 13 or XIII, whatever you want to call it, or Z. PlayStation 2, that's complete as well. Already got that on the Xbox. Thunderhawk, Operation Phoenix. Now, those of you who are a bit older will probably remember. Got lots of nice red pen over it. Thunderhawk, which I think came out initially on the Amiga and then CD32. So somewhere else, I think it came out. It did come out on the place. It came on the PlayStation one, didn't it? I've got a Thunderhawk up there. Yes, it is up there. I'll find it. But yes, so made by Eidos Games, and that was again 50, all those were 50p. One last 50p for you before we get to a couple of interesting ones. And this is, I think it's called TG Daredevil. I think it's called Top Gear Daredevil. And you see that one's complete as well, nicely complete, lovely jubbly. I think perfectly summed up by my other half when she said that looks like it'll be fun to play for about half an hour. 50p. Shove those over there. So this is why I don't like using certain stores. This is Alpha Protocol on Xbox 360, which I got far too much sucked in reading the back of it, because had I paid a bit more attention to what I was doing, and this is quite a common thing over the internet. You can just about see if I angle it right. It's a printed cover. Which I should have realised, because you may or may not be able to see this side here. There's writing missing. It's not very good, this side, I do apologise, but there's writing missing off here. The front of it's got the Sega bit, sort of. I just wasn't paying any attention to what I was doing, and I was very proud to say that I've looked through some. I saw some dodgy covers. I saw some dodgy covers today, and I thought that looks really bad. That does. And it's only when I got home and I thought something not quite right about that. And I'm very proud to say that there were over sort of 1,500 games, or yeah, there's more than 1,500 games. But it's over 1,000, you know, of the disc-based games. There's many others. Probably close to 2,000 games, something like that. That is the only one I've been caught with a dodgy cover. If you don't know what I'm talking about, CEX. If they, for example, can't find the manuals, they've got a loose disc lying around, what they will do, they'll use a spare box and they will reprint the cover, or try and cobble together a cover and then sell it to you. As sort of stated, there's no manual. If I'd actually opened the box up in the shop, I'd have gone, oh yeah, and then put it back on the shelf. 50p though, so I mean, if I was paying £5 for it, I'd take it back. 50p, I'll probably find it again in another store, that's no problem at all. But it's very disappointing. Very disappointing indeed to see that going on. In fact, I've been caught out on that. That's annoying me a little bit. But my disappointment has been tempered slightly with something rather good, because every now and again I do like to the word I'm looking for, splash out or treat myself, I'm not quite sure. If I come across a game that I've sort of seen things, read about, heard about, and I know that they're quite hard to pick up, and that's reflected in the value. And we're not talking about Mario games here, which hold their, you know, certain games hold their value because of who they are. But games where you've got limited runs or limited appeal, you don't see all that often. And I'm talking Wii games here because this is where we're heading towards. And there are a number of games which have high value. I went on a Wild Goose Chase about 8 months ago, where a local store had in a copy of Pandora's Tower and The Last Story. Both had come in practically that day, and I'd raced up there the next morning to get them. bear in mind that they probably would have cost me the best part of 50 quid, which is a lot for me. It was a huge amount for me. And when I got there, they'd actually sold them online, but they were still showing us in stock on their website, which was a bit annoying. And they said, "Oh, we can't." I said, "Well, I'll pay you now." So, "Well, we're waiting for the credit to come through." I said, "Well, why are they on your website? We're waiting for the credit to come through." Well, yeah. Anyway, so that was a bit annoying. And I've done it before with a couple of things up there, and they can't find them or they, what have you. So occasionally something comes up that you've read about, which you know is quite, a more expensive game you'd come across. The last time I bought a game like this was probably back in March, when I bought Tatsunoko versus Capcom All Stars on the Wii, and I paid 15 for that because I knew it was a game which sort of holds a decent value. Again, it's a limited run, it's a limited, I'd say a limited appeal, because it sort of covers things I'm not really particularly interested in, which is anime and side beat 'em up Street Fighter 2-esque type things, which I'm not really interested in at all. But I thought it's a game I would have in my collection. If I've got nearly 500 Wii games, which I have, I'm going to have that there with it. So I was pleased to see that one of my local stores managed to have Muramasa the Demon Blade, newly arrived in stock, and nicely complete manual disc in very, very good condition, as with the box. And I paid 15 quid for that. Now I can see people be sitting there thinking, ugh, you could probably, if you went to charity, I could probably get this in a charity shop or a car boot or something like that a lot cheaper. Well, the thing is, you don't. Now I did some research about this online. If you went to buy that on Amazon, same condition, same thing, you'd be paying at least £10 more. If you go onto eBay recently, I paid the bottom end of the market because I was checking the closed listings when I got home today, and the closed listings have been between 16 and 35 quid. So that's about right to pay what I paid for it today, and I'm quite happy with that. And that will go pride in place. If you don't know what this game is about, I thoroughly recommend you have a quick poke around on YouTube and look at how beautiful this game is. It is one of the best looking games I've seen on that system, and there's a few of them. Wii gets a lot of stick for it, but there are some beautiful graphics in this. The great thing about the developers, well, they didn't change the original language, so it's all spoken in the original Japanese it was when the game came out over there. It has got English subtitles. Also, as well, in terms of its availability, a lot of English sort of UK retailers didn't stock it in great numbers because they didn't think it would sell particularly well. So I'm now, again, my source on that is rather dubious, Wikipedia, but with limited run games like this, or games where you don't get a lot of availability, it's probably reflecting that as well, because Tatsunoko and Capcom All Stars is exactly the same thing. That had a very sort of limited run over here. It's limited appeal to certain people who collect things like that. So hopefully this is I see this more as a £15 investment for my collection, as opposed to I'm just going to spend £15 on a nearly 10-year-old game. Would you really go and do that? No, probably not. But that's a collectible. That's a nice collectible piece. That. So yeah, 18 quid, £18.50 I spent today, and I spent 10 quid yesterday, and I've got 4, 8, 9, 12, 17. I mean, 17 games for £28.50, which again is a bit more than I like to spend, way more than I like to spend actually. But there's a big ticket, so I take that one out of the way. It's 16 games for £13.50, which is more like it. But there we go. Every now and again you've got to do something like that. You can't pass up an opportunity to miss a game like that. If you go back to a few videos ago, I was talking about New Super Mario Brothers Wii, which came up at just under £9 on Amazon. Now I know that price has sort of fluctuated a little bit since, and it's on the rise again, but at the time it was the cheapest I'd seen it, and I was absolutely jumped at the chance to get the copy in anyway and do that for you. So yeah, that was key to get that into the collection. So there we go. So that's caught up with all the pickups, which is great news, because I can now clear this desk area so my other half can get on with their work tomorrow. It's going to take me a while to put them on the shelves, because as you will see, the shelves are completely different, and everything needs to be moved around, which we'll be going into in another sort of short detail anyway. But thanks for watching. We'll have some more pickups sometime soon, I'm sure. Keep watching the channel because I've got a couple of different videos going up. Some other things that I've been got going on, involving moving some stuff around behind me, and also some other a nice addition to the collection, but with a little bit of a twist. But all will become clear very, very soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. Mind what you're doing. Don't forget to check out the other videos. There's some C64 stuff on here. There's a couple of other game reviews and some other more game reviews to come up, and other bits and pieces. But always happy to have comments and questions left. Always nice to communicate with you guys out there. I said you guys. I was hoping I'd get through a number of... I'd probably get through my entire YouTube career, which could end at any time, without using the word you guys. There we go. I've now sunk to incredibly bad levels. I'm now going to go outside and have a long hard think about what I've said, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.